Alright everybody, and welcome back to the Goody Pantry. Today we're going to be making a chicken pie, and there it is on the screen. Before we jump in the video though, let me just remind you to like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be alerted for all new videos. Okay, let's make a start. So here's the ingredients for today's video. Now I have got me short crust pastry already made, but I have made a video just on short crust pastry, which I'll put in the description below. Okay, let's get on the video. So these are my ingredients. So I've got our chicken, we've got our peas, we've got our bacon lardons, we've got our carrots, we've got our leeks, we've got our chicken stock. I've got some mustard here. I've got my pastry, and I've got some double cream. So first thing, we're going to get a pan on with some oil and get those leeks in and start sweating those down. Next we're going to go in for the carrots, give them another stir, and do the same as the leeks. Just start cooking them down, and that brings out all the flavour of the vegetables. So now we've got our salt and pepper. So I'm going to do this to your own taste, but just bear in mind that we do have bacon going in as well. So now I'm going to go in with our herbs. So I'm just putting a teaspoon of mixed herbs in and a teaspoon of garlic granules. This part's optional, but if you've got them, chuck some bay leaves in there as well. They do add a good taste. I'll give that a stir, make sure that gets a good mix, and just keep repeating the process of cooking everything down, because this is the base to our sauce, and this really brings out the flavour. So next we're going in with the bacon lardons, and we're just going to keep repeating, give them a good stir, and start cooking everything down. So now I'm just going to put the lid on, leave this for about 5 minutes, get everything back up to temperature, get the pan nice and hot, and cook everything down. So at this stage I'm going to add my glass of wine. Again, this is optional as well, but it really does add a lot of flavour. So get your wine in, but what you want to do now is you want to completely evaporate that wine. All you want is the flavour. You don't need the liquid. So you can see I've cooked mine down, and there's very little residue left of the wine. So this part's done, we can move on now. And I'm going to add my 2 tablespoons of flour. And this is going to thicken your sauce and give it body. So make sure when you go there and you give it a good stir, get it all incorporated. This doesn't leave any lumps or anything like that doing it this way. So don't worry about that. So now I'm going to go in with my my teaspoon of mustard. Now I'm using English mustard, but you can use whichever one you like or whichever one you've got. So now we're going to go in with our chicken stock. And when we've got that in, so you're going to bring that up to a simmer. And once you've got that done, you're going to let that cook for 30 minutes on a simmer. And it'll look like this. So what you want to do, you want to really get rid of all the taste of the flour. That's why you cook it out. As you see, that's added, it's thickened the sauce, it's added a lot of body to it, which is great. So now we can start removing our bay leaves because they've done their job. So now we're going to go with our chicken. So the reason I'm doing this way is because makes the chicken really nice. You've got your sauce. So now we're just going to poach the chicken in the sauce. This keeps the chicken nice and moist and juicy, and it works really well for the pie. So as you go in, give that a good stir, and we're going to cook this now for about 30 to 40 minutes, just poaching that chicken. So I'm going to get the lid on, and I'm going to leave that for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, you see the chicken's nicely cooked. So I'm now going to add my peas. I'm going to leave that for about 5 minutes. As you add the peas, the temperature will drop, so we've got to build that temperature back up. Now I've got my cream, so I'm going to use about 100 mils of cream and add that in. And then, just like the peas, I'm going to give it another 5 minutes. Because you can see what it looks like there. It's very white. You've got to give the cream a chance to blend with the sauce. So after 5 minutes, there's our sauce and our chicken. And now our pie filling is done. So what I'm going to do is take this off and I'm going to strain this. So you don't want all this liquid in your pie, but you keep some to serve as your sauce or your gravy. So you strain it off, but leave enough on the thing. Obviously you want to keep the pie filling moist. But that, what you can see there, is all that you need. It will keep it moist. So I'm going to remove that now, set it off into a bowl at the side. And as I remove the colander out of the way, there's our sauce we've got to serve later. Okay, so this is the bowl or the dish, sorry, I'm going to use. This is a 10 inch in diameter. It's about 2.5 inches thick in depth. So I've got my pastry, now I've already done my pastry. I'm using a little bit more, but what you'd need for this is about 300 mix, or 300 flour, 150 of butter, and then the water to bind it. So I've cut mine here, so I'm going to be using 2/3 for the bottom and 1/3 for the top. So, I'm going to roll that out. Someone asked me online, they always struggle rolling pastry out of the circle, and they can never, if you struggle to do that, just roll it from left to right and backward and forwards, or into an oblong. It doesn't really make a difference. It's a little easier to get it in the dish, but if you struggle to roll in circle, just roll like I've done there, and you'll see, it still goes in the dish, no problem. So you've got to roll it back up, roll it over your dish, and then start lifting it up and placing it in. As it, don't worry about them ruffles on the sides, because you just keep going around the bowl, around the dish. And as you see, it does place in. So now we're going to get our filling in. Make sure you put the filling in before you trim off the edges. If you don't, your pastry will shrink at the sides. So you want to get the weight in there first, because that's going to pull your pastry down. So when you cut it, you don't get any shrinkage. So get your filling in, level it out, and then with the back of a knife, you can start trimming off your pastry. So now we're going to repeat this process for the top and just do exactly what we did before. So we've got our pie ready, so I've got my egg wash here, so I'm just going to egg wash the sides. You won't do this when you put your lid on, because this is what helps bind the two pastries together. So lay your pastry over the top, and then with your fingers and your thumbs, just start crimping as you turn it around, and then you'll trim off the excess again with the back of a knife. Once you've got that done, then egg wash the top of your pie. Now, another thing I got asked is, what can you do with the excess pastry? So if you've got excess pastry, now you won't have as much as this, like I'm going to be using mine for something else, so I made a bit more. But when you've got your pastry trimmings, mix them all back into a ball, roll it back out, and just do this. Cut a few strips. I'm just using the back of a knife to do this. And then with a small knife, start cutting some leaves, just like this. Now once you've got them done, so take a strip and lay that one down from the bottom. Lay another one on top and fold it underneath and twist it out. And then your third one, lay it on the top from a little further up, and then shoot that off to the other direction. And then just tuck all the bottom parts in. And then with your leaves, just start laying them around, and you'll get a nice tree effect when you do this. Let's say you don't have to do this, but it's a way to use up your pastry, and it does, as you can see, it does leave quite a nice decoration. So if you do this, make sure you egg wash it again. And then I'm just using a baker's blade, but you've got a knife, you can just make some nice little tree or plant ripples in the leaves. And when you got that done, that's then ready for the oven. So this is going to go into the oven at 160 fan, 180 regular or gas mark free. It's going to cook for 45 to 50 minutes. So here's mine after the 45 minutes. And as you can see, it's come up really nice. Pastry's a lovely colour. And that decoration does look really nice, especially now that it's cooked. So there it is done. There's our sauce that we had from earlier. And I just served this up with some potatoes and some vegetables. And it went down an absolute treat. Alright, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you give it a go. If you do, let me know in the comments how you go on. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to request that I make. I'll get onto that. Don't forget, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll catch you in the next one.